Hi everybody, my name's Leslie. I'm an instructor at Queen Street Yoga in downtown Kitchener, and I'm going to offer you a 15-minute little home practice as a sample of what we have going on right now in our virtual studio. We are running virtual drop-in classes every day, and you can check those out on our website, queenstreetyoga.com. One nice thing about practicing yoga virtually is that it breaks up your day. If you're stuck at home, it's something to do. If you're working from home and that has you sitting a lot, this is a nice way to get a little stretch break in and move your body. So for today's practice, you really just need a spot on the floor. If you have a mat, cool. If you don't have a mat, that's also fine. Here we go. Come to stand in a comfortable stance, maybe a little bit wider than your hips, and we'll just feel our breath and move along with it at first. So just think about, am I breathing in or breathing out? And then on your in-breath, lift your arms up. And on your out-breath, bring your arms back down. And see if you can really go at your pace, which might be different from my pace. And let's add a little pizzazz to this movement. So start to fire up your hands and really spread your fingers wide, and at the bottom, dip a little bit in your knees. We'll do this a few more times. And on your next time reaching your arms up, keep them up there. Grab onto your right wrist with your left hand. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, lean over to the left. Push down into both of your feet and see if you can get a little bit longer on the whole right side of your body. Next time that you have a breath in, stand back up straight. Switch your hands and head over to the second side. Again, pushing into both feet and pressing the left side of your body over to the left, getting a little stretch there. Wait for an inhale, and when it comes, stand back up and release your arms down by your sides. I'm going to turn sideways, but you keep looking. In that same stance, we'll use our breath rhythm to continue sitting down into a chair pose and then standing back up. So on a breath in, sit down and reach your arms forward, and then blast back to standing with your exhale. And just like when we were doing those sun breaths earlier, your pace might be a little bit different than mine. That's cool. On the next time that you sit down, we're going to try to hold it. So just sit to a place where you feel like this is a sustainable thing to do. Just ease your weight back into your heels. Maybe your toes even get a bit light on your mat or on your kitchen floor. Turn your thumbs up and reach your arms up a little bit higher. Take one more breath, just like this. And then flop all the way over your own lap into a forward fold. You might have a pretty big bend in your knees here. There's no need to super stress out the back of your legs. If this much of a forward fold doesn't feel nice, come and perch your elbows on your thighs. And bring your hands together. From here, crawl down onto hands and knees. This is tabletop pose. Once you're down on your hands and knees, put your hands right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips. And we'll continue to move with breath, this time for the middle body, the spine. When an inhale comes, lift your tail, lift your chest, and lift your gaze, letting your belly drop down towards the floor. And then reverse that. Curl your tail under, round your back generously, and drop your head. And go back and forth. This one is cow pose. When your spine is rounded up towards the ceiling, this is cat pose. You can imagine yourself like a Halloween cat. And the next time that you go for a transition, just let your spine level out. Come up into a high kneeling position And step your right foot forward. I'm gonna come face you. Step your right foot forward. It can just be a pretty small lunge, just a bit of a square. And then bring your arms up in front of you. Side note, if your knee is kind of uncomfortable there, you might tuck a little towel underneath it, or if you're using a yoga mat, you can fold it up and have a more generous cushion. Once you're set up, bring your arms up into a big hug position. Lean forward and open your arms wide, shining your chest up at the ceiling. And then lean back and wrap your arms around. You could even straighten your front knee and curl your foot up off the floor on your front leg. And we'll go back and forth between those two positions. And the distance that you're going and how stretchy it feels is really up to you. So you can take it pretty chill and gentle, or you can make it pretty strong. Next time that you go between those two options, touch your hands down on the inside of your right foot and swing that foot back, and then step your left foot forward. Once you've stepped your left foot forward, figure out what you want to do for your right knee padding, and then we'll go again, leaning ahead to open up your arms and chest, and then leaning back to curl in, even letting your back round a little bit. This option of lifting your left toes up off of the floor when you lean back is really a true option. So if it doesn't quite make sense, or if you get too tippy, just leave your foot down. As you ease back into that center place again, bring your hands down on the inside of your left foot and swirl your leg back. Then transfer down onto your forearms, putting your elbows right underneath your shoulders. Interlace your fingers and tuck your toes under. From here, once you've got your toes tucked, dig them in, lift your knees up, and then see what it feels like to start to straighten your legs some of the way and lift your hips up pretty high. You might find that you want to take your feet a little bit further back or take your feet a little bit further forward, depending on what that feels like for your shoulders. Or you might walk forward and walk back on purpose just to explore the difference. Definitely begin to walk your feet back towards the back of your zone, and then bring your shoulders forward into a forearm plank. This could become a knee plank. This is kind of our building the most heat part of this practice. So if you're already quite warm, you can keep it pretty low key by putting your knees down, but if you're starting to feel like, I like this, maybe keep your knees up. Becoming aware of your own breath rhythm again. On an exhale, bring your whole front body down to the ground. Stretch your arms back by your sides and turn your palms up. Point your toes. Roll your shoulders a few times to get them ready. And then keeping your gaze actually down at the ground right now so that the back of your neck is long. Use the rhythm of your breathing to lift your limbs on an inhale and put them back down on an exhale. And we'll go up and down like that a few times. Your chest can lift and lower as well. And the next time that you lift, see what it feels like to stay here for a breath. Really driving your heels and your palms towards the ceiling. And on an exhale, let all of that melt down. Maybe making a little pillow out of your hands. From here, push yourself back up into that tabletop position. And then from tabletop, bring your right hand a little bit in towards center so that you can get your right leg around to the front and put your foot where your hand would have been. And then from here, come up into that high kneeling lunge again. Bring your hands onto your front thigh to steady yourself and tuck your back toes under. You're welcome to lift your arms up if that feels like a good option, or keep your hands down on your thigh. And one last option for just 3 breaths would be to lift your back knee as well. Hold steady through your legs while reaching up through your arms. And then ease yourself back down. If you're up, your arms back down if they're up. And use your hands on the ground to switch sides, putting your right leg back and bringing your left foot forward. Tuck your toes under and come up. This might be a good place to hang out. Other options would be to lift your arms and reach long, or to even get up off of that back knee and take 3 breaths. Wind yourself back down, hands to thigh, knee to floor. Touch the ground again. And then return to those cat-cow movements that we did a little earlier. A few times to arch your back and round your back. And kind of going a little bit more slowly and gently. Winding down from any strong effort that you may have put in there. And then from here, we'll wind down even further, coming right down to the floor. Come to lay down on your back. And keep your knees bent for now, and your feet flat. It might be nice to leave your hands on your belly and feel it like a bellows, rising and falling. And then bring your right leg in towards you. Depending on the length of your arms, you could reach around the back of your thigh and interlace your fingers. If that's not quite working for you, grab a hold of your pants. Dig your hands in, get some of that material. And then keeping that hold, whether it's of your thigh or of your pants, start to kick your right heel to the ceiling. And you might notice that there's some stretch sensation in the back of your leg. Maybe your knee keeps a little bit of a bend in it. Sometimes when you stretch this large of a muscle group, you get the shimmies and the shakes from stretching so hard. So if that's happening for you, cool. Sometimes that happens to me too. Take another couple of breaths and point and flex your right ankle. And let that leg go back down where it came from. And between sides, swoosh your shins left and right. When you're back up in the center, bring your left thigh in and see about this side. Does it make sense to grab the back of your thigh, or do you want to hang on to your pants? And same thing, kick your heel up towards the ceiling and actually push into your hands, like your leg is trying to escape back down towards the floor, but you're not going to let it. See if you can let the back of your body stay nice and heavy and the back of your head stay nice and heavy. And point and flex your ankle a couple times. Bring that leg back down to the floor. You might stay just like this for a few minutes of rest, or you could even stretch your legs out long and rest that way. It's been a pleasure practicing with you virtually, and we hope that this little movement break just gave you a break from all the weird things, and we would love to see you digitally soon. Peace, everybody.